I'm Brittany James, and I help consumers understand, protect, and enforce their financial and credit rights. If there's any error on yours, we will fix it. For more info, click the link in our bio or comment section below to speak to one of our licensed attorneys for help. Here's a number I want you to sit with for a second. $1 trillion. That's not the national deficit. That's not the GDP of a small country. That's the total amount of credit card debt that Americans are carrying. Right now. On their shoulders, in their wallets. Quietly draining their bank accounts every single month. And here's the part that should make your stomach drop. 92% of people believe they're going to pay it off soon. They won't. And if you've ever swiped a card for something you didn't really need, told yourself, I'll pay it off next month, or felt a low-grade financial anxiety that never quite goes away, this is the episode you cannot afford to miss. Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how this trap was built, why almost everyone falls into it, and the single most powerful thing you can do to get out. Let's talk about what's actually happening in America right now with credit card debt, and I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this. According to data from the Federal Reserve and Consumer Finance Research, total revolving credit card debt in the United States crossed the $1 trillion mark, a milestone that has never been hit before in the history of credit cards. To put that in perspective, if you stacked $1 trillion bills on top of each other, the pile would reach nearly 68,000 miles into space. And we didn't just creep over that line, we blew past it. Americans added roughly $92 billion in new credit card debt in a single year. Not total debt, new debt, piled on top of what already existed. Now look at a single quarter, just 3 months at the end of 1 year alone, $67.6 billion added in 1 quarter. The highest quarterly spike in 30 years. Apparently, the holidays got very expensive for a lot of people. Zoom in further, and here's what it looks like in your neighborhood, on your street, in your home. The average American household is now carrying $8,600 in credit card debt. Not student loans, not a mortgage. Credit cards, the highest interest debt product most people own. And according to research tracking actual payment behavior, nearly 60% of cardholders do not pay their balance in full each month. That means interest is compounding, balances are rolling over, and what started as a $500 shopping trip is quietly becoming a $900 problem. Here's what blows my mind. The same studies show that 92% of people surveyed believe they'll have less credit card debt by end of year. And 41% say they'll be completely debt-free within 12 months. So, if almost everyone thinks they're about to pay it off, why is total debt still climbing? Because we are lying to ourselves. Pleasantly, optimistically, confidently, lying. And this is not a character flaw. This is human psychology meeting a product that was specifically designed to exploit it. If this is hitting close to home right now, if you've got a balance you've been meaning to tackle next month for the last 6 months, drop a comment below and tell me the number. No judgment. Just honesty. The first step out of debt is admitting the exact size of the hole. I'll respond to every single one. Segment 2, why we keep falling for it. Here's the thing about credit card debt that nobody teaches you in school, it doesn't feel like debt when you're creating it. A study on consumer attitudes found that people generally consider it acceptable to go into credit card debt for the following things. 35% said travel is worth going into debt for. 15% said clothing, 13% said electronics. 11% said dining out. And 8% said entertainment. Read that list again. Travel. Clothes. Dinner. Entertainment. These aren't emergencies. These aren't medical crises or broken furnaces. These are choices, often impulsive ones, that we justify because the credit card makes the pain invisible in the moment. You don't feel $200 leaving your account when you swipe, you feel a meal. A jacket. A weekend. The bill comes later. And later is where the trap closes. The psychology behind this has a name, temporal discounting. Our brains genuinely value present pleasure far more than future pain. Credit cards are perfectly engineered to exploit this. The reward is immediate. The consequence is delayed. And by the time the consequence arrives, we've already moved on to the next swipe. Add to that the fact that 78% of Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck, according to data from multiple consumer finance surveys, and you have a ticking clock. When you're living that close to the edge, credit cards don't feel like a luxury, they feel like a lifeline. Got hit with an unexpected medical bill? Card. Car broke down on the way to work? Card. Kids need school supplies, and it's 2 days before payday? Card. The problem isn't the emergency. The problem is that most people don't have a savings buffer to absorb the emergency, so the card becomes the buffer. And then the buffer has a 24% interest rate. Here's the brutal math. If you carry an $8,600 balance at an average credit card APR of around 20 to 22% and only make minimum payments, you will spend over a decade paying it off and hand the credit card company more in interest than you originally spent. You essentially buy everything twice. Segment 3, the pattern nobody talks about. Let me share something from inside the financial trenches. Consumer attorneys and financial coaches who work with people in serious debt see the same pattern over and over again. People use credit cards to supplement their income, not just for emergencies, but for lifestyle. When the paycheck runs out, the card fills the gap, and every month, the balance climbs a little higher. It starts at $1,000, then it's $3,000, then before they know it, they're minimum payment prisoners, just treading water, never making real progress, because the interest is eating most of their payment before a single dollar touches the principal. And the most heartbreaking part? Many people don't even realize how serious it's gotten until a lawsuit lands on their doorstep, their wages are being garnished, or they're sitting across from a bankruptcy attorney trying to figure out if they can even afford to file. That's not dramatic, that's the reality for millions of households. There's even data showing that bankruptcy filings spike every spring, not because people suddenly hit hard times in April, but because that's when tax refunds arrive, and for many people, a tax refund is the only lump sum of money they see all year. They use it to afford the cost of filing. Think about that. People are waiting for their annual refund just to be able to escape debt legally. Segment 4, what actually works. So what do? I'm not going to sell you a magic fix because there isn't one, but here's what actually works for real people in real life. Step 1, know your number. Write down every credit card balance, every interest rate, every minimum payment. Not in your head, on paper, or in a spreadsheet. Debt thrives in the dark. The second you see it clearly, it loses some of its power over you. Step 2, stop adding to it. This sounds obvious, but for many people it means a genuine lifestyle change. If you're supplementing your income with credit, the first question is, why? Is income too low, or spending too high, or both? You have to answer that honestly before anything else works. Step 3, build even a tiny buffer. Financial research consistently shows that a $1,000 emergency fund dramatically reduces the likelihood of going deeper into debt. It doesn't solve everything, but it stops the spiral. One small cushion breaks the cycle of charging emergencies. Step 4, budget with intention. Not a vague plan, an actual written budget that tells every dollar where to go before the month starts. It's not glamorous, but it is the single most effective financial tool that exists. People who budget consistently pay off debt faster, save more, and report significantly less financial stress. Step 5, attack the debt with a plan. Whether you prefer paying smallest balances first for momentum or targeting highest interest rates first for math efficiency, pick a strategy, automate it where you can, and stay consistent. Debt that feels impossible shrinks faster than you think once you stop adding to it and start attacking it. $1 trillion in credit card debt is not just a statistic, it's millions of people losing sleep. It's couples fighting about money. It's parents who can't save for their kids' futures because they're still paying for Christmas 3 years ago. But it doesn't have to be your story. The trap is real, the system is designed to keep you in it. But the exit exists, and it starts with one decision: to stop pretending the balance will take care of itself, and to start dealing with it on your terms. You are not your debt. And you don't have to live like this. If this episode opened your eyes, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it. One share could change someone's financial future. And if you're ready to actually do something about your debt right now, subscribe and turn on notifications. Next episode, we're going into the exact step-by-step debt payoff system that works even when you're living paycheck to paycheck. Drop your questions in the comments, I read every single one. Let's get you free. I'm Brittany James, and I help consumers understand, protect, and enforce their financial and credit rights. If there's any error on yours, we will fix it. For more info, click the link in our bio or comment section below to speak to one of our licensed attorneys for help.